Good evening, Erwin. Ira, good evening to you, and Ira, good evening to our distinguished listeners wherever in the world you're tuning in from. We thank you. My name is Miguel Anthony Melbourne, and at the top of this program, I do have to wish my heavenly grandfather a happy 86th birthday. He is the legend responsible for giving my family the opportunity to be here thriving in the States. So, must say that. This week on Melbourne Motivation, I am excited to introduce to you a young man who's an award-winning writer and poet. Allow me to tell you a bit more. Rashaun J. Allen is writer and founder at Royal Blue Publishing, a company that specializes in creative writing workshops, project-based editing, and poetry publications. His three independently published poetry chapbooks, A Walk Through Brooklyn, In the Moment, and The Blues Cry for a Revolution, became Amazon Kindle bestsellers in African American poetry. His writing has racked up a number of awards, recognitions, and features. Rashaun is also the first Fulbright scholar in SUNY Stony Brook's MFA in Creative Writing and Literature program history. Within his Fulbright year, he was able to reconnect with his Bajan and Vincentian heritage. In addition to his writing, Rashaun is also an instructor of English at Westchester Community College, where he positively impacts the next generation of young leaders. So with that, I say, King Rashaun, welcome to Melbourne Motivation. How you feeling today?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling great and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely. Glad to hear that. Rashaun, where I want to start is, you grew up in the States, but not that
Correct.
long ago. You got a chance to reconnect with your Caribbean roots. So I want to start there. Tell us a little bit of how that connection happened and how much that experience has meant to you.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you. So I'm from Brooklyn, born in Brooklyn. My parents are from Brooklyn. Like 3 out of 4 grandparents are from Brooklyn. But my great grandparents, a couple of them are from the Caribbean. Um, I would hear whispers of stories coming up, holidays and stuff like that. But I didn't really know as much. Through the years, I would ask questions, and then I try to do a little dabbling research here and there, ancestry.com or family tree dot org to search them up. But I got the opportunity to get a Fulbright and travel to Barbados. For anyone who doesn't know what a Fulbright is, it's basically like a United States cultural exchange program where folks can go to another country and stay there for like roughly a year to pretty much exchange culture, knowledge, skills. Some people go there and like teach English. Some people go there to like go to another country and teach and like do a project. As a writer, as a creative, I had the opportunity to go to Barbados and do a writing project or start a writing project around my family tree. And before I tell my story, I want it to be known that the Fulbright works both ways. So folks coming from whether Jamaica, Barbados, and other countries who have that relationship with the United States can apply and do the reverse. So fast forward back to the story, I had this opportunity to go a couple years back to Barbados and essentially dig in the archives, try to see what I can find, talk to people, work at, I have built a relationship with University of West Indies over there. And I learned a bit about my family story, and I found out that my great grandmother was from St. James, Barbados, and she went to the church over there. And literally in the paperwork, her baptism record was there. I was like, oh, and but this came from like not really know, just kind of putting together as much information as I could. And a quick interesting fact was when my great grandmother came over to the States at like 1919 or so,
Wow.
the family didn't know her age. So like how old she was and what was surrounding that was a big mystery. So when I went to Barbados, I was really trying to find out like her age, and from the age I can kind of like build out a profile. What's the age? What's the time frame that she was in? When did she exactly leave? Like, that information you may get on, say, like somebody's Facebook profile. Like, I'm trying to get that for back in the days. And eventually, as I found out that she was in the St. James area, I eventually just kind of walked around and started asking people about the Pisas. My family name out there is the Pisa. And this particular day, folks were telling me I wanted to like take pictures of the area and maybe like write a blog about it. And people started telling me, well, it's the Pisa family that lives, around the corner and up that way. And if you know anything, a lot of times around the corner can mean any direction.
This
So,
is true.
uh, so eventually, a couple corners and around, I made my way to like this pink house that I was informed about, and I'm like, hey, the Pisa live there? My name's Rashaun, and I'm not here looking for money. I just want to know if there's any family there. And I wouldn't even do this in Brooklyn, by the way, but it was early in the morning. It was, I'm like, I think no one's gonna think I'm crazy. And this woman who I now know is my cousin looked out the window. She's like, I'm a DePisa.
Mm.
And she came out. I think she asked me my name, and she was on the phone. And I told her my name. And she got on the phone real quick and made some calls. Who I now know she was calling some cousins in Canada and asked them some questions. Do we got any family in the States? And they give her
Wow.
like some questions to ask real quick. They like ask for they say my two of my aunt's names. And I say, that's
Mm.
my aunt. This is my aunt. And I tell them that I'm the son of the youngest sister from those aunts. And that was like the connection. And once that happened, like sort of a light switch happened. And my cousin Ann goes, come in, your family. And then from that moment, it sort of changed my whole experience on Barbados, where I started just meeting cousins left and right. And just really, really building a tight knit relationship that I'm ever grateful for. I
Wow.
think it's life changing, and that's
You
just
know,
a small sample of the story.
it's no, what you're saying is so powerful, because I'm sure there's so many Caribbean Americans who know that they have roots in the Caribbean but may not have had the time to go and explore. And so whether it's us connecting back to our Caribbean roots, or even the sentiment we have to connect back to our African roots, it's so powerful to be able to connect, and gain that power from it. What I want to touch on next, you're a writer, and you became a writer at a time where it wasn't a popular thing to do. Not a lot of folks in your age group were becoming a writer. So I want to touch on that. Your latest book is The Blues Cry for a Revolution. Give us a quick synopsis of that work, and what can our listeners expect to take away when they read it?
Oh man, so that's my third poetry book, and essentially, it really dives into systematic oppression in the United States, right? And I looked at it from like three angles. Um, Victims, people who feel the brunt of that. Watchers, right? People who are like aware of what's happening, but not necessarily reacting for a number of reasons. And then resistors, people who are actually actively trying to make a difference. And that was really the premise of it. And as far as from like the creative side, I asked myself, like, how could I really talk about oppression in a fresh way? It's been done in so many ways. And the conclusion I ended up coming up with was, just be too original. Like try to come at each piece of poem as a unique way, a different style, and really try to speak to that. And I think I was able to create something really special. I think it's my best work yet. At least that's out.
No, that's beautiful. Folks, please go ahead and pick it up. We have here an African American, a Caribbean, who is an author. This stuff, it lives forever. So just extraordinarily proud to hear it. Rashaun, in my eyes, to be a published author, it's one of the most incredible milestones that a person can achieve. And so, what I'd love for you to do, what piece of advice would you like to leave with the youth who may have an interest in activating the power of their story and the way they see the world around them through writing? What kind of advice would you like to leave with them?
Oh man, it's so many pieces of advice that I can share, right? I think one I would say is don't really get too caught up on what you see other people doing, right? If you're comparing yourself to others, you're trying to like demotivate yourself. What you can do and what you should do is strive. If you're going to do some comparing, compare yourself to what you did the day before. And with that same mindset, if it's something that you want to do it scared, do it often, and do it today, tomorrow, and then do it yesterday. And if you can keep that up as often as possible, showing yourself grace when you fall short or not hit your own expectations, I think you're gonna make progress. Even if the progress doesn't match your vision, it'll at least be added color to the black and white picture you might have started with.
Nah, it's powerful. It's powerful what you're saying. Ultimately, it's that saying, right? You're not competing with anybody else. You're competing with yourself to be the best version of yourself. There's so much going on in society right now where the youth may not feel like they have a voice. And what we know about the Caribbean is, we come with this sense where we're not really afraid of public speaking. And you know what? To be an author, to be a writer, here's another way in which you can express yourself. So, we're just super proud of the work you're doing, man. Continue to do it. Folks, Rashaun Allen, please go ahead and check out his work. Rashaun, tell our listening audience, where can they buy your books? Where can they follow your movement? Where can they connect with you?
So essentially, Rashaun J. Allen is my hashtag. So all social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, RASHAUNJALLEN.com. And that's also my website. And my books are available wherever books are sold. Amazon being one, Barnes and Noble's another. But I prefer and I'm an advocate for independent booksellers. And wherever you can go and request it, that'd be greatly appreciated as well.
Fantastic, man. I appreciate you taking the time to have this conversation with us on Melbourne Motivation. Consider this the first time you are a writer, so we already know you will continue to put amazing work out there for us to consume. So keep it up, man, and we'll definitely have you back time and time again.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Erwin.
Thank you very much. Best of wishes, Rashaun, to all you do. And I'm quite familiar with going around the corner, just around the corner. Just around the corner. Just around the corner. Miguel knows that too, because when he's in the corner, just around the corner. You know where my still there? Yeah, just around the corner. You pass the shop, then the cow, then the big rocks.
and the big mango tree.
And the big mango tree. And half an hour later, you still a drive. Anyway, all the best to you, my friend. Miguel, how do people get in contact with you?
Absolutely. Folks, my personal and professional goals are to help the youth be best prepared for college, career, and beyond so that we can have some more Rashauns out there. So please visit pathwaytopurposenyc.com. Use the code IRIE, I-R-I-E, for a discount when purchasing our college study flashcards. Follow Melbourne Motivation on Facebook, on Instagram, YouTube. You'll be able to watch this interview plus more. So until next time, please be safe, live with big energy. Erwin, we connect again next week.
All the best to you. Stay safe, my friend. And remember to go out and exercise your franchise on Tuesday.
Indeed.
Okay, all the best. Stay safe. There you have it.